Hello, this is Susan, and this is Susan's Ramblings. Today I am dehydrating hamburger. Hamburger was on sale last week at our local store, and I'm trying to cook a can down and dehydrate my freezer so that I have room in it for my fresh vegetables and so forth that will be coming later on. And so I can put them in there and not have to worry about them until a later time. Especially we got the fruit truck is delivering strawberries within the next month, and I ordered a bunch of them. Too many of them for me to do at one time. I mean, remember, I am 75 years old and I don't have any energy that you young gals have anymore. But anyway, I'm dehydrating hamburger. Really a simple thing to do, although it sounds like it's quite complicated. It isn't. You cook your hamburger. Then you take it and you put it in a strainer. And you run hot water over it until the water runs clear. That way you make sure all of the grease is out of the hamburger. I usually try to soak up some of the grease with paper towels, but when I did, this batch is 6 pounds of hamburger, and that's really kind of hard to get grease out at the same time, and it's expensive with the paper towels. So I just let it cook, and I poured off some of the grease after it got cooked, and then I put it in a strainer like I always do, and I run hot water over it until it comes out clear. The water comes out clear until you see no more grease or no more oil coming from the water. Then you drain the hamburger and you let it dry somewhat. I just put it on, not cheesecloth, on flour sack towels and spread it out and let it dry. And then I take it to my dehydrator and I put it in a single layer on the dehydrator trays. Now I've got plastic canvas on the bottom of all my trays. Otherwise my ground beef would just go right on through, because you don't have big chunks of hamburger. You have it broken up into little chunks. In fact, if you have big chunks, take your hands and squeeze it out and flatten it out. Otherwise it won't dry, it won't dehydrate correctly, and then all your work will be for nothing. Okay, so do that. No clumps. Put an even layer in there, and you put it in your dehydrator. Now I haven't got a fancy dehydrator. Both my dehydrators are cheap. They do the job, but they're not like the fancy ones, and they don't get done as fast. And so from experience, I have learned that I put them at this hamburger in at about 140, between 140 and 146 degrees. And I will set it for 24 hours. But I will check it after about 18 hours. And a lot of times, by that time, it is dry, it's dehydrated enough. The way you tell if it's dehydrated is if it not crumbles. If it's hard, it looks like little rocks when you're done, the hamburger. And that's what it is. It's hamburger crumbles. Little rocks is what you have. Okay? Then, like I said, for 18 to 24 hours. After that, I do take it out of the dehydrator. I let it cool down in the dehydrator first. I'm sorry, maybe people don't. I'm telling you what works for me. Okay? That doesn't mean I'm not an expert on it. This is just what works for me after many years of experiment. I let it cool down in the dehydrator. And then I will put it in a mason jar or some kind of container. And I will leave the jar open so I can condition it to make sure there is no moisture in there. And only after I've made sure that there's no moisture in it, then I will vacuum seal it, and it will last forever. Some people recommend that you put ground beef after you dehydrate it in the freezer because of the oil in it. But I find that if you do all what I just did and run the water until it's clear and there's no oil in it, I don't have to put it in the freezer. I can save it out. Of course, and it doesn't last for years and years and years for me either, because I go through it quite rapidly. In fact, I'm almost out because I filled Christmas jars this year for the family with foods, dehydrated foods, and hamburger was one of the main meats that I put in the meals, and so I am short of the dehydrated hamburger. So this will probably just go in the jars and sit on my cupboard. Now there'll be too much to that. But anyway, one jar will go in my cupboard. The rest will be vacuum sealed. But like I said, it doesn't last long enough for me. I've got 6 pounds here. There's not 6 pounds in this dehydrator. I've got about 3/4 of it in this dehydrator. My second dehydrator is coming out. I'll be filling that tonight. They're both set for about 145 degrees. Like I said, I usually go 24 hours. It doesn't burn them. It doesn't dry them out. I want them dried out, but it doesn't affect the taste. The 24 hours. That's with my dehydrator. Each dehydrator is going to be different, and you will have to experiment with it to find out exactly how it works. Anyway, that's my ground beef dehydration. In about 24 hours it will be ready. So we'll show it to you then. Have a good evening. Have fun dehydrating. I love dehydrating, and I love my dehydrator. God bless you. See you later. Bye-bye.